our evening session for January 12th, 2021. I appreciate you all being here. Just a reminder that we are completely virtual right now. We have no in-person council meetings at the downtown location. So if you have any comments regarding any of our agenda items, please phone them in. And the number is 951-826-8600. And if you would like to phone in for the first item on our agenda, please do so now and get into the queue. And this is for public comment. And with that, I would like to ask Councilman Conder if you would please give us an invocation for tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. For those who wish, please pray with me. Dear God, our Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight, for gracing us with living in the United States of America and being citizens of this great nation and all that it includes and represents. Please help guide us this evening to do the work of the people for their benefit and the benefit of all our citizens, not just a few. Please help us to leave our prejudices behind and work for the greater good of everyone. Please bless our military men and women as they serve our country around the globe. Bless them with health and safety and bring them home to their loving families as soon as possible. Please bless our doctors and nurses as they daily fight to heal those affected by recent events. Be with our police officers and our firefighters as they work around the clock for the safety of everyone and bring them home safely to their loving families each and every day. Dear God, with your strength and guidance, please continue to keep America strong, because its amazing people, our Constitution, the world needs and demand for our leadership and ability to bring freedom and peace to those who need it. We ask a lot of you each day, Lord. Many of us too often forget to thank you. Tonight we all ask that you continue to bless us all and continue to pour your strength, your knowledge, and your bounty on our souls. We thank you for the love you show us, and together we say, amen.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Do we have anybody who's called in for item number 15? Anyone on the line? All right, no callers on the line for item number 15. I will move on to our item number 16, which is our mayor and our council member comments. Would anybody like to share anything tonight? I could start with council member Edwards.
I just wanted to thank those who came to our virtual office hours last night. We had about 15 people. Great questions, good conversation, and we'll be sure to hold virtual office hours monthly or more if needed. So thank you so much for your engagement. I also wanted to thank the planning department and our consultants for the 6th cycle housing element. As I'm sure we might hear later in other announcements, it was a wonderful meeting last week, and gratitude to all of the residents who engaged on this very important topic.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Melendrez.
I have nothing this week, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Fierro.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have something coming up. So tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we will be holding our first virtual town hall for the Magnolia Area Neighborhood Alliance. All the links will be posted on social media tomorrow. It's at 6 o'clock. And we will have Lieutenant Chris Wagner as well as our Director of Homeless Solutions, Hafsa Kesa, there to discuss issues related to the Magnolia Area Center. So we look forward to seeing people there, and that's all. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Condor.
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Placencia.
Pass. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Councilmember Perry.
Yes, Mayor, just very briefly. Yes, last Thursday night we had the first housing element meeting. It went extremely well. There was a lot of people that participated. If you missed that meeting, it is online. You can still view it and still take fill out surveys and questionnaires, which I encourage everyone to do. The next meeting, I believe, and mark it on your calendar, will be January 27th. So look forward and encourage everybody to participate because it's very, very important. Thank you, Mayor.
Great, thank you. And Councilmember Hemingway.
Nothing at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, terrific. Councilmember Edwards, I saw that you requested to speak. Did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, it was just for that update. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. All right. So now we are at our consent calendar portion. Okay. For City Council, let's see. So I'm going to ask each council member if anybody would like to pull any items or if they have any announcements. Ward 1.
Pass.
Ward 2.
I have a property within 500 feet of parking structures in the downtown area, so I will be abstaining and recusing myself from the vote on item 18.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Melendres. Okay. Ward 3.
Pass.
Okay. Ward 4.
Pass.
Ward 5.
Pass.
Ward 6.
Pass.
And Ward 7.
Pass. I move to accept the consent calendar.
Okay.
Second.
All right. And I neglected to ask City Manager Al Zelink if he had anything either, if he needed to pull.
I pass. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right. So we have an motion and a second. So I'll call for the vote. Ward 1.
Yes.
Ward 2, absent item 18.
I'll recuse myself from the vote on item 18. Otherwise, yes on the remaining part of the agenda.
Okay. Ward 3.
Yes.
Ward 4.
Yes.
Ward 5.
Yes.
Ward 6.
Yes.
Ward 7.
Yes.
All right. That item carries. All right. Moving to our discussion portion. Tonight we just have one discussion item, and this is regarding a temporary revision to our electric and water rule. And this is an item that Councilmember Fierro will be introducing. But before we start, I'd like to invite members of the public, if they have any comments, to please call at 951-826-8600 to comment on item number 24. And with that, I will turn it over to, I believe it's Councilmember Fierro. Are you going to be introducing this item?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I will be.
Okay.
I believe staff does have we do have a presentation with staff, so if they can get that loaded up, that would be great. Okay, wonderful. Well, good evening, everyone. The item before you today is regarding a resolution establishing a temporary revision to the Electric Rule 4 and Water Rule 4 to allow small commercial customers adversely impacted by COVID-19 restrictions to apply their deposit that is currently on deposit with the City of Riverside to customer accounts effective until March 31st, 2021. Next slide, please. Now, as you are all aware, we are nearly a year into this global pandemic that has transformed the way we live and has subsequently resulted in dire economic consequences for residents and small businesses that have been straddled by COVID-19 restrictions for nearly a year. Since early December, our Southern California region has been under a modified stay-at-home order. This current order follows a slew of government restrictions and mandates from all levels of government in efforts to curb the community spread of COVID-19. Next slide, please. These restrictions have had a massive effect on our small business community. An August Small Business Majority Survey showed that statewide, 44% of small businesses are at high risk of shutting down permanently. More than a third of these businesses stated that without additional funding, they would be forced to close by no later than mid-January. For businesses owned by people of color, that number was nearly 41%. Next slide, please. Government stimulus for small businesses has been few and far between. The CARES Act, passed back in spring of 2020 by Congress, provided for a myriad of support measures, including the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP as is known. Recently, after several months of gridlock and debate, Congress, nearly 7 months later, passed and President Donald Trump signed a $900 billion COVID relief bill, with the main vehicle for business relief continuing to be the Paycheck Protection Program. And that second round of funding didn't open until today. In the previous round of funding for PPP, California small businesses were disproportionately underfunded. Out of every 1,000 California businesses that applied for loans under the Paycheck Protection Program, only 58.5 were approved. And that is the lowest per capita in the country. And I would imagine the second round of PPP stimulus will likely have similar numbers. Next slide, please. Now, all of this is to say that with limited action at the federal level, local government has had to step in and provide relief and assistance to our small business community. The city of Riverside has not strayed away from the task, has passed multiple relief measures, and has been extremely flexible with our business community. Measures passed by the council included the CDBG Micro Enterprise Grant Fund, the ERAC program at Riverside Public Utilities, and several CARES Act funded assistance programs. Next slide, please. Now, back in March of 2020, one of the relief measures that the City Council passed was a utility shutoff ban. The stopgap measure was put in place to allow residents to shelter in place without the fear of their electricity, water being shut off, and for businesses now grappling with the reality of extended shutdown orders to focus on paying their employees and other pressing operational costs. In response to this, many customers elected to defer their payment of the utility bill to do just this and pay for essential needs, something that we wanted them to do. According to our finance department, the total delinquency for RPU customers is currently $20 million. 57%, a majority, of our commercial accounts are over 60 days or more delinquent. This has shown us that there is a great need for assistance to commercial customers, especially in hopes of reducing this delinquency rate for the city of Riverside. Many small businesses in the community have reached out to our office and to city departments regarding utilizing this deposit to help pay off their delinquency or pay off their next payment. Next slide, please. The city's current policy regarding the return of deposit is codified in Electric Rule 4 and Water Rule 4, as previously stated. These rules establish the following. Upon discontinuance of service, the utility shall apply the customer's deposit and accrued interest to the unpaid bills and refund any balances that exceed $10 by mail. Any refunds with a balance of less than $10 will be refunded to customers upon request. After the customer has maintained a good payment record for 12 consecutive months, the utility shall apply the customer's deposit, including accrued interest, to the customer's bill. The utility may apply the deposit to the customer's account at any time upon request, provided the customer's credit may otherwise be established in accordance with Rule number 3, Establishment and Reestablishment of Credit. Now, while these rules make sense during pre-pandemic times, we know that more than half of our small businesses have become delinquent on their accounts due to COVID-19 and would not possibly qualify for the 12 months of consecutive payment period. Next slide, please. Because of this fact, this proposal has been brought forward to recommend that the Board of Public Utilities and the City Council establish temporary changes to the electric and water rule to suspend these rules and allow our small business customers to immediately receive their deposits back to their account via a bill credit. Under the resolution before you, the customer must meet the following conditions to qualify for this relief. The customer must fit the definition of a small commercial customer, which is defined for the purposes of this rule only as a commercial customer who employs 50 full-time employees or less as of December 31st, 2019. The customer must self-certify in writing that their business has been adversely impacted by COVID-19 restrictions, either by loss of revenue, reduced work hours, or temporary closure of businesses. The small commercial customer shall not be classified as an essential critical infrastructure business under California Governor N 3320. and customers must have maintained a good payment history for at least 3 months from December 2019 to March 2020. So as long as people were current for the 3 months prior to the pandemic, they would qualify. Next slide, please. Small business relief is effective because it stimulates our entire economy. Small businesses, unlike larger commercial enterprises, do not have the ability to weather a storm like this alone. Many small business owners and small business employees are people you know, people integrated in our community. These businesses heavily rely on hyper-local interactions and community connectiveness for them to thrive. The success of small businesses is the success of our community. This measure will build upon the extraordinary efforts by Riverside community to assist and provide relief during these challenging times. Small businesses tend to not have strong lending relationships with banks and are largely left out of Federal administered bailout measures, normally favoring Wall Street. Particularly, small businesses include those to moderate income neighborhoods or are owned by individuals that don't have personal wealth. Next slide, please. There is no material fiscal impact to this item, and there is no cost to the general fund or to the electric fund. Security deposits on hand are currently held in the general treasury fund. In fact, this will actually benefit the city of Riverside. With a rapidly growing delinquency rate, we will be possibly moving close to $3 million from a deposit fund into our ratepayer fund, allowing it to be used for essential services. The city currently holds roughly $3.7 million in customer deposits, commercial customer deposits. The total amount is $5.8 million for everybody. The total delinquency for all RPO customers is $20 million, as previously stated. This is $15 million more than the same time last year, and 57% of commercial accounts, as stated before, are now 60 days or more delinquent. Next slide, please. Last night, the Board of Public Utilities unanimously voted to support this measure and recommend that the council adopt the attached resolution temporarily amending electric and water rule number 4. With that being said, I will go ahead and make the motion to adopt the attached resolution. I look forward to hearing from my colleagues. And again, I just want to stress that, you know, we knew from the get-go that what small businesses were going to need more than anything was capital, was funding, was the ability to pay their bills despite the same amount of money not coming through their doors that they are used to. We have exhausted all of those options. We exhausted options through our CARES Act funding. We exhausted options through our community development block grant programs. And we utilized every enterprise fund we have to do our best to try to help people weather the storm. This is a creative measure that costs us no money and will help us bring down our delinquency rate. And once again, hopefully this is one more tool in the toolbox that can help our small businesses weather this storm, move money around, and like good entrepreneurs always do, endure and survive. So with that, I look forward to public comment and hear what my colleagues have to say. Thank you. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments on this item? I don't see any, so I think I will turn to the council and see if any council members are interested in making a comment or have any questions for Councilmember Fierro.
So make the second, Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Carter is second. Councilmember Melendrez, would you like to speak?
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple comments. First of all, thank you for bringing this to the council and the benefit for small business. Obviously, being a small business person myself and also having rental property where I rent to small business, obviously I've experienced myself some of the challenges and seen some of the challenges that they have. I think this is a good move. It is an opportunity to move some money out of a deposit fund into one where we're able to operate, but it also alleviates some of the backlog of money or the money owed by a small business. So I'm in full support of this. It looks like you have a second already. Councilmember Fierro, thank you for bringing this to the council. I believe it was also been reviewed by the Riverside Public Utility Commission as well, and they've fully approved this as well. So I think everybody here is of like mind and wanting to help our local business, our small businesses here in the city of Riverside. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Melendrez. All right. I don't see any other comment or questions from our council. So we have a motion and a second. I will call for the vote. Ward 1.
Yes.
Ward 2.
Yes.
Ward 3.
Yes.
Ward 4.
Yes.
Ward 5.
Yes.
Ward 6.
Yes.
Ward 7.
Yes.
All right, that item carries. Thank you, Councilmember Fierro. I think this is a very practical measure that we can do to help our businesses. Tough time. All right. Moving on to our communications, item number 25. Christy Smith, our city attorney, do you have any report that you'd like to do on our closed session items?
I do tonight. Thank you, Mayor. I have a settlement to report on August 4th, 2020. The City Council unanimously in closed session authorized the settlement in the case of Nichols versus the City of Riverside. There's been a final settlement with the city paying the plaintiff $375,000 for dismissal of the lawsuit. Thank you.
All right, and that's it. Okay. Item number 26, does anybody have any items that they would like to have on future city council agendas? Don't see anybody. Okay, all righty then. We will adjourn the meeting, and our next regular city council meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.